What's up, guys? So I'm back again with another video. Today the video is gonna be about my single cab. So we're gonna be lowering the truck even more. I recently just dropped the truck to an 8-inch drop in the back. It used to be on a 6-inch drop, but we went to an 8. And the reason is because we're going with a different wheel setup than what it was before. You guys see my videos, it used to be on 22x12 American Forces. Let me show you the truck. It used to be on 22x12 American Forces, so the wheels would stick out, and it was dropped to it on a 4.6. But I got tired of the setup, and we're now going with the bigger wheel, big lip wheel, which means cutting the diff and all that stuff. So this is the kit we're gonna be using for the front. Right now, what I have on the front is a 4-inch control arms from IHC. And these Beltec struts are gonna make it go from a 4 to a 6. These struts go from a 1-inch to 3-inch drop, which is adjustable. You can adjust it to your liking. But right now we're only doing a 2-inch till my wheels get here. So how these work is, you just take off your old struts, you take off your spring from the strut, and you put it back on this one. And from there you go ahead and put this thing back on and adjust it to your liking. So it's very simple setup. It does take time to do it because you have to do some modifications. My truck is a 4x4, so we do gotta see if running these is gonna rub on my axles. If it does rub on my axles, we're gonna go ahead and take off. All right, guys, so you can see there's the strut, the lowering strut, and you can see this ones right here are the little spacers you add, and then you can adjust it from there. You can see. And I do have axles because it's a 4x4. And you can see it clears them up and everything. These are the 4-inch IHC control arms. This was caused from whenever I have my wide wheels. You can see the whole thing. There's the stock spring. And there's a strut, the Beltec strut. That's the whole thing right there. If you do run this strut with the stock control arms, you do have to modify. But since I do have the aftermarket control arms already, you don't have to modify anything on them. Just literally take off the strut, remove the spring, put the spring back on the new strut, and put it back in. So that's all you have to do. I am planning on getting the IHC adjustable control arms so I can fix the alignment issues and everything. You get more alignment out of them than these. So I'm planning to get those, just so I can have a better ride quality and everything. So yeah, guys, let me go ahead. What's up, guys? So the next day after me dropping off the truck to get a drop from the front, and I already received the wheels I was telling y'all about. So you're probably seeing it on the background right now, but we ended up dropping the front, which was a 2-inch drop on the front. We added 2 more inches. So it was from a 4 to a 2-inch drop that we added from the little strut setup we did. So let me go ahead and show you the truck. And that's the way it's sitting. Don't mind the back right now, but that's how the setup looks right now with the 24-inch wheel on the front. And I'm actually surprised how much room we actually still have left. Y'all can see all that wheel gap on top. You really can't see it from the outside, but there has a lot of room underneath. Some of our new wheels, guys. It's 24x9 in the front and 26s in the back by 12. You can see 12-inch wheel. You can see how far it sticks out, and that's not even mounted on the truck because they don't fit. We have to cut the diff, push it in, and then put the wheel inside. But yeah, guys, that's what I was telling you about, that we have to cut the diff to make the wheels fit. I already have my appointment set up. So that's all I have to do now. Just video where I was doing the drop of the truck, but we took it to the shop. Today we're going to be installing some adjustable control arms on top, the upper ones. Just because once we did the drop, it did get a lot of camber. And we took it to the alignment shop and they couldn't really adjust it as much. So basically I was forced to buy the controllers because they couldn't adjust it. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And as well, they said that my tie rods were bad. So we're gonna go ahead and buy those as well right now. And then once we get back, we're gonna go ahead and start installing everything right now. And the upper control arms, I'm gonna do that myself because it should be pretty simple. And it won't take as much time. So let's go ahead and start doing that, guys. Let me show you the truck, how it's sitting right now. That's my truck right now. I can see the camber that it has. The truck sits nice and everything, but it does have a lot of camber, I can see. Alright guys, so these are the control arms. These are the IHC adjustable control arms, or camber correction control arms. You see, they have a adjustable, it has like an adjustable thread on the back, so you can adjust your alignment to. It's on both ends. And then over here is like a little billet cap. They look pretty beefy. And then I got the tie rod in. I only needed one, and they were pretty expensive, so I only got one. I think this is the cheapest one they had, and it was $120 just for one. So there's a part number, and then there's a part number for the control arms. You can see. So let's go ahead and get started on this install. I already have the truck jacked up and everything with the little jack stand. So let's go ahead and start taking off the front. I'm gonna do one side at a time because it's only one person doing it. So I'm gonna take my time doing it. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. All right, guys. So first thing I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start taking off all these ABS lines from the little bracket, because once the spindle comes down, it's gonna stretch out those wires. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure they don't get stretched out. All right, guys, so as you can see, there's the bolt I'll be taking off. This holds all these ABS lines and brake hoses. So I'm gonna just take off the little bolt from here. So whenever the spindle comes down, this bracket is not gonna come down with it. It's gonna be already loose. So let's go ahead and take it off. It's gonna be a 10mm socket. So let's go ahead and take. All right, so for the sway bar link, which is right here, right next to the knuckle, it's gonna be a 13/16 socket. So let's go ahead and take that off. Take it off. Now let's go ahead and take off the sway bar link as well. All right, guys. So next thing is taking off the sway bar link. Well, I mean the tie rod end. It's gonna be the same socket. There it goes. So you want to leave the nut a little bit in, hit it around the side. All right, so once the tie rod is out, go ahead and move it to the side. Just put the nut. There's the one we're gonna be changing out. I'm gonna just put the nut on here and move it to the side. We're gonna take off this axle nut because I might be taking off the axles in the front, so I won't have any issues with them, and I don't want to break them just because they're expensive. So I'd rather take them off, and then for them to be good, then leave them on, and eventually they can break or rip or something. So let's go ahead and take them off as well. So let me go ahead and take off this axle cap right here, you can see, and then it has a nut underneath there. So let's go ahead and take that off. What you want to do is just get a little small screwdriver so you can fit it in there, and just tap it all the way around till it gets loose. There it goes. So that's all you have to do. And then it has a small nut in there. Let me see what size it is. Probably like a 13 or 12. So we're going to go ahead and take that off. It's off. So now we got to take off this upper ball joint nut, and then as well we're going to take off the strut as well. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and take off the bolts for the strut that go in the bottom. It's going to be a 5/8 socket or wrench, whatever you want to use. We'll hold it back up. There it goes. There goes one. Go to the other side real quick. We'll go ahead and leave the bolts in there for now. So now we just gotta take off this top. Alright guys, so for the top nut, for the bar joint, is gonna be a 3 1/4. So let's go ahead and start dropping it slowly. Right here, I left it a little bit screwed on because I'm gonna hit it with the hammer so it won't fully drop quick. You can see, it already came out. Alright guys, so as I can see, the axle is off. It does take a good amount of work to take it out, but basically all you have to do is just bang on the axle. So what you're gonna have to do is let the spindle drop and let the axle sit straight. You're gonna move the spindle straight and the axle straight so everything can be aligned, because now it's gonna be on a bind. So once all that stuff is already, the axle is already pushed back through the hub and this is all free, you're gonna go underneath and you're gonna start hammering the part. But on the back side, I can see right over there where the little yoke is at, you're gonna start hammering that part towards this way, because all that is a bunch of splines. You can see it's nothing but a bunch of splines, and it does have a little gasket that's very tight and thick, so it has to come through all that stuff. So it's gonna take a while for it to come back out. So all you have to do is just hammer it out this way. Once it frees up the spline right there, all you have to do is pull it out, move it down, and then it comes back straight up. I'm probably gonna try and record it on the other side. Excuse me. Now that I know how to do it, it kind of took me a while because I didn't know how to do it. So now that it's all free and I got it, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side once I finish up putting everything back together on this side. So let's go ahead and start taking off the control arm and put the new one in. Alright guys, so the socket is gonna be a 3 1/4 for the top bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the impact in here and let it rock. Alright guys, so I'm getting ready to install the new control arm back on. And in the instructions, it does say for like a 4-inch drop, you have to unthread, which is this part, about 1/2 inch from the nut to this end. So it should be a 1/2 inch gap on both sides. So, but since my truck is like it's around like a 6-inch, well, it's about a 6-inch drop, maybe a little bit lower, I am gonna go a little bit, probably like a 16 or 3/16 more than a 1/2 inch. It depends how I'll see it right now, just so you can have a little bit better a better alignment once I put it on the ground. And then once I take it to the shop, they can fix all that stuff to like the proper way. But since I know it's not a 4-inch drop, I'm gonna go ahead and just adjust it a little bit more on the nut and the thread, so it can be kind of close once I put it on the ground. So let me go ahead and adjust this Just control them, and we'll see right now how much. Well, we'll see right now once we put it back. All right, guys. So I already adjusted them to how I'm gonna put them. So it does call for a 1/2 inch, about one like an eighth more. So right now it's sitting like at 5/8. Let me see. So I can show you with one hand, but. All right, guys. I can see that's the final product. I'm fully done already. It did take a while because I did have to change those broken parts I had, which was the tie rod and the sway bar link. So it did take a little while because of that. But you can see the final product. I did adjust the controllers to 5/8 spacing. And it did fix the camber as you can see. It did fix it, but I still obviously gotta take it to an alignment shop. They can do it. I can see the camber. It still has a little bit. But we have a lot of space to adjust now than before. Before we didn't have no adjustments at all. But now we do. Now we're gonna install some new shocks because the ones I have on the truck are they're not proper. They're not so good as these. Of how these are gonna perform. So these are the Beltec Extreme Performance. There's the model number. There you go. You can see these measure as how they are right now. 1'4" and 3/4. So I don't know if you can see this how it currently looks like. They're all the way compressed out. Let's see. So let's go ahead, put the new ones, see how they look like. Alright guys, so this is the ones I had before. Called Nitro Drop 2 by Beltec as well. But you can see these are very long. But obviously I haven't opened these yet. But whenever I had these, it would go all the way down to here. Already on the truck. All the way down to the tag. So we're gonna see how far back these go compared to these ones. Guys, so there's still a little part of the video of the whole process of us dropping the truck, lowering the truck, and getting the perfect stance on the new wheels. So as y'all have seen, we had installed those 3-inch blocks on the truck. It was a 6-inch flip kit with a 3-inch block, so it could go lower. And the reason I did the block was because it was gonna take some time to get the custom flip kit made for this. I bought 3-inch blocks that were 4 Ford. It was from 21 and up Fords. But once we installed them in the truck, you can see this. The blocks are still installed. You can see the stance on the truck. I mean, it looks nice. Don't get me wrong. I love this stance, but ever since we dropped it, I haven't been able to drive it because what those blocks did was it threw off the position of the diff. It made the wheels come forward like an inch, maybe less than an inch. But that amount that it pushed it forward is making me rub on my bed, basically on both sides. So I really can't move it back and forth because it's really rubbing on the bed, and I can't really cut it anymore because then that will make the bed flimsy. It's rubbing on the supports of the bed. So that's what happened with those 3-inch blocks. It made the diff push forward just enough where it would start rubbing. 3-inch flip kit that I already had and the 3-inch block, we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna be installing this custom flip kit made for this truck. So this is a 10-inch flip kit. I had to wait for it to get made because as soon as I installed it, I seen that the wheels they get pushed forward. So like that's gonna be a problem because once that happens, you can either get a crab walk on the truck, which makes your truck look like it's not going straight. It makes it look like it's going on an angle. So we don't want that, and also it's rubbing. So we gotta fix all that stuff. So we have right here a 10-inch flip kit. guys, so I already have the truck all jacked up. I have the frame floating and everything, so we don't have as much pressure once we take off this diff and everything. So first thing is, there's gonna be this 4 U-bolt nuts. It's gonna be a 7/8, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, it's a 7/8 socket to remove these 4 nuts. Depending if you still have your stock U-bolts, that might be a different size. I think it was a 13/16, but with this one it went a little bit bigger. So it all depends on what type of U-bolts you have, if you have aftermarket or original ones. But my size is 7/8, so we're gonna start ahead and removing these this U-bolts. We're gonna start doing like a star shape pattern so it can release the pressure evenly and not all of once. So let's start doing that. All right, once you have unloosened the U-bolts, you're gonna go ahead and take off this 10mm bolt, which is for the brake lines. It goes right here on top. So let's go ahead and untie that one, and then we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. All right, guys, so I already took off everything. These are the old flip kit, which is a 6-inch flip kit, and then it's this one, the 3-inch. So right now, as you can see, I have a little jack stand right on the pinion, so it won't roll too much forward. I already have the flip kit in there. So now what I gotta do is I gotta lower it down slowly and rotate the diff so it can sit straight on the flip kit. Cause that's technically what is gonna align the whole diff. It's the flip kit and the ears, how they're gonna go in. So how you know you did it the right way is the diff. You can see the little gap with the flip kit and the diff. It has to be fully flush once settled down. And the ears, both of the ears have to be tucked in inside of it. So that's one way to know. And then of course, you're gonna tighten it up and you should be all flushed out with no gaps around there. So yeah, let me go ahead and lower down the jack a little bit so I can move the diff around. And we'll see how it ends up looking like. Alright guys, so as you can see, the block is already in. I already put the U-bolt. So right now, I'm gonna start tightening up. I'm gonna see if I can show y'all right now. Oh, I can't really see through here. It's a small little gap, but that small little gap is gonna close up once we're tying up the U-bolt. It's gonna bring everything down. So yeah, guys, I already let the jack loose a little bit so it can go down all the way, and so I can start tightening up. Same thing for the other side. You can see that one has a little small gap too, but we're gonna get closed up once we tighten up everything. So yeah, guys, hopefully this does fix the roll of the diff. I did notice that they go back a little bit, so hopefully once we put the wheels, everything does go back to normal, because it was rubbing right here. You can see on this bolt, that's what it's rubbing on. So let's hope right now, once we put the wheels, everything lines up good and we're good to go. If not, it's gonna have to go back to the shop and get all this shit fixed, because I also have to rotate these calipers down. But the shop that did the diff, that cut the diff and weathered it, has to do that. You have to cut the diff again, rotate the flange, rotate the caliper, and we should be all good. So let's go ahead and tighten up everything and put the wheels back on. What's up, guys? So this is gonna be the final part from the whole video of us doing the job, suspension work, wheels, fitment, all that stuff. So this is the final part, and that's me rebuilding the whole truck. It finally moves on its own power. Everything's running good as of right now. I am gonna be doing later on, well, sometime nearby, very soon, I'm doing some other modifications to the truck so it can run better, so the suspension can be smoother, the ride quality is better for me, and for anybody that uses my truck, whenever my girl uses the truck. So let's go ahead and actually show you the whole truck and give you a running down. So there you go, guys. There's the whole truck. Just look at that stance, man. So let me give you a little walk down. So the front, the wheel is gonna be 24s up front. Rear is 26. The front is 24/9, which has like an inch, like an inch or 2 inch lip on the front, just like a 1 inch. On the back, it's a 26/12 reverse. It has a 8 inch lip on the front. So what I had to do to fit these wheels was on the back we did, which is the shock relocation, which I'm gonna put a little clip of it, or what we did to it. The shock relocation, and we also did narrow the differential so we could fit these wheels. I am still running on lift springs on the truck, which I didn't need I didn't need to do a 3-link or 4-link or anything like that, because on these trucks you're able to run to like a 9.5-inch lip on these trucks without having to remove your lift springs. You can see I still have like maybe like a 2-finger gap right here between the bed, and I'm still running a 1-inch spacer on the back. So I have a 1-inch spacer on the back of the wheel, and then I still have like 2-finger gap between the bed and the wheel. So on the front, what we did to lower the truck is I have the IHC control arms on the bottom, and I have adjustable control arms on top with a lowering strut. So it gives me to, right now it should be like around a 6 or a 7-inch drop on the front. We will be changing the front suspension on it so it can be a better ride quality, because to be honest, I'm not liking the way it rides with the front suspension right now after I did the adjustable strut. So I'm not really liking it. I think the combo of the control arms and the strut is not working too well, so I'm gonna change that up, but that will be for another video. I'll give you a little walkthrough. And then also, I'm not getting the line. Whenever I take it to get a line, it doesn't give me proper alignment because of the combo I have. So even though I have the adjustable control arms on top, it's still it's not giving me a perfect alignment because of the suspension combo I have. I can see the rear. I mean, these are 26-inch wheels, and I'm not even tucking rim yet. It's just tucking tire. You can see. So on these trucks, I guess it's very hard to make a wheel tuck, because I'm already at like a 13-inch drop on the back. So yeah, guys, it's a 13-inch drop on the back, like a 6 in the front. On the front's a 13-inch drop. I have a custom-made flip kit for this truck. It's a custom-made flip kit with the shackles. So I have 10-inch flip kit with a 3-inch shackle. And I also have an underbed notch, but we were gonna be changing that up very time soon. On the next video you're gonna be seeing, we're gonna change the whole notch up. We're gonna make another one, so it can be better ride quality, like I'm saying. So yeah, that's all I have in the back. It's just right now it's shock relocation, narrow the diff and the axles, and we also did the underbed notch, but that's gonna be getting changed up very soon, the underbed notch for a step notch. So that went in the video, guys. So now I'm gonna give you a little cinematics of the truck, and then I'll see you on the next one.